With Election Day finally upon us, we are in the last hours of an unprecedented campaign season. Now it's in the hands of you, the voters, in a cycle where more than 81 million people have already cast their ballots early. Joining us to provide insight into the VP's endgame strategy is the Harris campaign's communications director, Michael Tyler. Michael, good morning.
Good morning. Happy Election Day.
Happy Election Day to you, too. So we are in the final stretch here. But still, there are voters that we've spoken to, that our reporters across the country have been talking to, who are still on the fence or who don't know if they want to go out and vote still. What is your campaign's pitch to those people today?
Yeah, you're exactly right. There are many voters, even today, who are still undecided on who they're going to support or if they're going to go vote at all. And so our message has been what you saw from the vice president, both on the ellipse a week ago tonight, but also on across the battleground states since then. And that is that you actually have an opportunity, if you vote for Kamala Harris, to have leadership that is not focused on chaos, that's not focused on division, but is actually focused on you, the voter, your family, your community. One of two people is going to walk into the Oval Office on January 20th, and it's either going to be Donald Trump with his enemies list in hand, so focused on grievance and his own petty, insults and division that he's never going to focus on the American people and what their concerns are. Vice President Harris is going to walk into the Oval Office every single day with her to-do list to lower costs, to restore women's reproductive rights, to secure the border, and do all of the things that the American people actually want a leader to focus on. And so if you're still trying to make up your mind or feel you still don't know if you're going to vote, we certainly encourage you to do so. The vice president will be a president for all Americans, and we're telling people to go to iwillvote.com to find their polling location and make a plan to vote.
Michael, one of the messages the vice president has delivered on the campaign trail is the one that you sort of alluded to, which she says that the former president is potentially looking to jail his enemies. She'll give them a seat at the table. Is that message resonating with voters in battleground states, the idea of perhaps including a Republican in her cabinet should she win this election?
Yeah, well, we certainly think so, and we think it's borne out in the data, right? When you look at late-breaking undecideds in this race, they continue to move towards the vice president by double-digit margins. We've seen that in our own internal research. That's reflected in a lot of the public research the final week of this campaign. And I think what those undecided voters are seeing is a clear contrast between Donald Trump, who's spending the final days, the final hours of this campaign, turning into the worst version of himself, reminding the American people of why they fired him 4 years ago, because everything that he's talking about is not about solutions that people actually want. It is about that division. It's about insulting Puerto Ricans at Madison Square Garden. It's about training guns on Liz Cheney, a Republican who's putting the Constitution and the rule of law above her party, right? They are not seeing him offer any actual solutions that would bring people together and solve the problems that we face. And on the other side of that, you see somebody in the vice president who says that she's going to be a president for all Americans, who says herself, as she said on the ellipse, I may not have all the answers, I may not get everything right, but I'm willing to listen to people from all walks of life to bring people together to get the things done that we all know that we need to do. And I think that's what a lot of these undecided voters, a lot of these moderate voters, even some Republicans have been yearning for, right? They are sick of the division, they're sick of the chaos, they're sick of the toxicity, and they're ready to turn the page on the Donald Trump era. And that's what voters across the country have the opportunity to do today.
A lot of voters that we've spoken to also associate Donald Trump with a stronger economy. Voters have told us that time and time again. 2/3 nearly of Americans say that they believe the country's headed in the wrong direction. So why should Americans believe that Kamala Harris will not give us more of what the last 4 years under Biden have been?
Yeah, listen, I think you should look no further than what the candidates are actually talking about doing. I think everybody who's actually studied the economic proposals of both of these candidates have come to the same conclusion, right? Kamala Harris's plans grow the economy and build the middle class, while Donald Trump's, and again, this is economic experts, would spike inflation and likely cause another recession. There's one candidate in this race who's putting forward a plan to lower costs, take on price gouging, build more housing and lower the cost of housing, assist first-time home buyers and renters as well. There's another candidate whose entire economic agenda is about another tax cut for the ultra wealthy, another tax increase for the middle class through his across the board tariffs, right? Raising costs on middle class families by $4,000 a year on average. That's Donald Trump's economic plan. Nothing about that is actually going to help the people. The vice president's economic plans, from lowering costs to creating more jobs, spurring small business innovation, that is what's needed to grow the economy in the 21st century. So there's only one candidate who's actually putting forward plans to solve the problems we face. There's only one candidate who actually understands the lived experience of Americans across this country in the 21st century. That's Kamala Harris. And that's why you continue to see late-breaking undecideds go towards the vice president. And it's why you see Donald Trump fail to resonate with this crucial slice of the electorate as we approach polls closing today.
All right, Michael Tyler, thank you very much for spending some time with us this morning. I know it's a very busy morning for you. We appreciate it.
Thank you.